Hi, my name is István and I am an Inkscape Pro user. This means I'm a graphic designer and I use Inkscape for more than 10 years and I get paid for it. And I'm also having a lot of fun projects. I'm teaching online on my website and I'm doing a lot of fun character animations and character designs with Inkscape and small video game projects, everything. What I'm gonna do now is a cat ninja, as you can see on the title of the file, because there is an amazing page called Character Design Challenge on Facebook where they are posting monthly character design challenges. So every month there is a different topic and people, different level of artists, amazing ones, really great work, is a ton of great work is posted every month. And I cannot pass this month topic because I love ninjas. So I grew up on the end of the 80s, which means I watched Ninja Turtles and the Action Man and everything. But I also have an amazing cat who is a little rascal, not even a year old, and he's called Hamu, and he's our studio cat, which means he's stealing our pencils and try to annoy us when we work. So what I'm gonna do, I created some sketches watching my cat and imagine how he would look like if he would be a ninja. Actually, he would be a great ninja because he is gray. So, as with any character design thing, I am starting with rough shapes. Just more or less clicking out what I want to have. I'm looking at my notebook here. When I'm doing sketches, and this is what I always say, sketches are important, but they are not everything. So my sketches are not beautiful and they are just really there to record my thoughts. So what I do, I just look at my booklet now. I didn't even photograph, so I didn't even make it a photo to draw over. My wife Erika is also a designer and she's a great one of the reasons I married her actually. And she's doing amazing hand-drawn sketches and she always have the urge to almost finalize them and then she's scanning them and drawing them over. My method is way more easy. It is very warm here, so if you hear my computer buzzing, I'm sorry for that. I set up the microphone so you might don't. But it's 35 degrees in Hungary now and that's not really helping. Okay, now I'm just I was just clicking around, use the circle tool, and I was just clicking around with the pen tool, with the Bezier tool, to create straight lines. And what I'm gonna do now is just control click the nodes to create the curves where I want curves. In a lot of places actually. And then I just try to grab this node. Yes, then I just try to reshape a bit the design. On my design, I had something very dynamic. With dynamic lines, this is what I try to have through here. It is very heavy to have that dynamic motion and dynamic handling of lines in vector because you lose that, because it's more static. So what I try to do, I just try to curve everything and get the dynamic movement. And here is a big trick. If you want something dynamic and a clean shape, use as little nodes as possible. So the trick is to use as little nodes as possible to keep the drawing more dynamic. If you use more nodes, there are gonna be little bumps here. Like, I don't know, if I put this here, they're gonna be, I'll just double click to add some nodes, they're gonna be little bumps and it will look uneven. When you use just a few nodes, it will be amazing because it will follow the curve and This is what you want. I save constantly with Ctrl S because I don't want my work to, I don't want to lose my work. I'm just checking my sketches. Good. Now I merge these two objects together with Ctrl plus, or path, you can use path union. So I had these two shapes, now they are one. You see, this node is not needed, and this is what I said exactly. Keep it as clean as possible. Okay, I have to figure where the cat is looking, so I just give him two eyes just for now. No, it looks crazy, but hey. My cat really is crazy. You know this cat, like, who is coming to your lap, purring, always sleeping. Okay, he's sleeping a lot too, but mostly he's not purring and he's jumping all over and he's crazy. Probably because he's still young. He's a street cat who we adopted. And he's straight kung fu. Okay, I know it's not Japanese, but he is jumping around and he's doing like a lot of martial arts, up and down all the time, climbing on everything. And what is a good thing, he's catching all the flies. Okay, so what I do now, I try to order the hands in a nice shape. I will play with the ears and everything later on. I just give him the little pause. Okay. If that arm is this thin, that it has to be as well. Good. Now I'm figuring if I need to give him claws. I'm again just experimenting, control clicking. Much more scary. Okay. It looks scary because the nodes are not curved either. So when I curve them again, so I curve them and I try to play with the nodes a bit. You see, it's not that scary, although they are big. They are a bit scary, yes. Like this. Okay. As you see, I'm always duplicating. Duplication is great because it's I say this in every video, but if this is the first time seeing me, good. If I say this again, yeah, at least you learn and remember. So the application is very easy in Inkscape. You just select the objects, push Ctrl D as the application, and that is duplicating, copying and pasting the objects in the same place. You just move them around and you have them separate copies. So why it is good for me? Because if I want to go back to the original, I can. It is so easy to go back to the original drawings. Now I try to make, do we need a sword or what? But yes, he will get a sword. Classic ninja. So, how to create a ninja sword in Inkscape. Here is the tsuba, which is like the cross iron. With Shift Ctrl A, I open the Align and Distribute window, and I selected both objects and aligned it to the middle, so the tsuba is in the middle of the blade. With Page Down, I send it behind. Good. And I also duplicate this, and this will be the handle. I just use the color picker, pick a color, and I cut it off so it's shorter. So I just draw a square over it, path difference, and you see it was cutting it much shorter. Nice. So this is a very basic sword, but I can make it a bit more interesting by doing it a bit bent. Slightly. I'm just pulling the nodes, node handles, the legs of the nodes, because I am looking for the curve I want. Okay, good. And we want the handle to follow the curve. So you see, it's more dynamic than the plain sword. Now what I do, I save, and I give it some edge. See if the pencil works here. Yes, nice. With Ctrl L, when you use the pencil, you can set the smoothing. It was set to 30, which is quite smooth, which means whatever you draw with your shaky little hands, like I do, like I cannot draw a straight line with the mouse, it's really shaky, but when you do it with this smoothness, it will smoothing it out. And there are gonna be still some edges which I don't like, so I just delete some nodes. Just click on them and delete them. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, obviously I'm not a Japanese swordmaster, because if I would be, it should be absolutely perfect. So what I do now, and this is again a trick I use a lot of time in explaining every video, still a lot of people don't get what is the point. So I drew this edge over the original shape of the blade. Now I duplicate the shape, the basic blade, the base of the blade, and you see, now I have 1, 2, 3 objects, yeah? So now I take it, select the duplication and the sharp edge I created, and I go to Path, Intersection, you see? And this creates exactly an intersection. I make it whiter a bit. And this intersection is placed perfectly on the edge of the basic shape, because this is what I used to cut it off from the wavy thing. And these two together, so I have two objects, the base and this one, because the base was there, it was duplicated, it's intact. So this is what I do now. Give it some gradient. Nice. Nice. Now I group it up, select everything and Ctrl G to group it up, and I duplicate it. I will color it and play with it later. Just now I put it into position. Okay, it will be behind the head of the cat, and the hand will be behind it, and it has to be smaller. Nice. I'm just playing like how to make it even weirder and dynamic, like he's falling. I want him to lean forward as he's hitting down, and something good. Maybe a bit leaning head. Nice. So let's just also finish this. Just control click the nodes to make them curvy. Okay, now I do the same here. I will give him close. You don't know how much a cat can open his clothes when you want to wash him or clean his fur. He can be really crazy. He has little chicken legs then. So I am just control click, I'm just clicking around, and then I will control click to put these together. I color it like the base, so I select the grays I drew now, and I pick the gray base color. Nice, even more dynamic. I created a very thin body. And I will pull this up here. Okay, so I just control click the nodes here and pulling some edges to create the curves I need. That's one. And that's two. I can make these a bit bigger. Okay, now let's play with the tail a bit. Yeah, I actually like it. It can be like that. When I draw a character, it's very important that there are shapes overlapping, of course, but there is the basic shape recognizable. Because you see there is a head, there are little paws, there is the tail, and a very distorted body, but still people can recognize it. That it's a cat, or it's supposed to be a cat. I'm control clicking here as well, adding the ear. This image in my head, it's very easy to create now because my cat is always fighting with me. And of course he's playing his kitten. So I have a lot of mental images of him now, jumping around like crazy and biting my hand and trying to catch me. Okay. Duplicate again just to see. So when I duplicate, I also do this because I can go back to any state I had before. I don't like where I am now, I can go back. And now I will have a bit of experimenting again. Object to path or Shift Control C is to change this circle. Change this circle into something different. I will make it a bit brighter. I make an ellipse, duplicate it and overlap it. And I select both of them and I go to intersection and it makes this shape of an eye or a shape of a leaf. I do the same all the time, so I show it again. Circle or ellipse, duplicate it, overlap the two, select both of them, path, intersection. And I have the shape of an eye in this case. Duplicate it, rotate it a bit, I make it smaller. What I take care of is that the eyes are pointing into the same direction, which is the nose. And here will be the nose. And now the mouse, I really want him to scream or something or shout. So I duplicate the head, make it darker, so we see. And you see it's perfectly following the shape of the head. Just make everything a bit more flat, so the mouth can be even bigger. The mouth of the cat somehow can be huge. That's also a thing I just learned as a new cat owner. He can yawn so big he is looking like Venom, you know, from the Marvel comics. Okay. So now I can play with the shape of the eyes to make it more evil. Which is basically making this one straight. And now, and this is why I always duplicate everything, I can just copy this shape and this will be the inside of the eye. Like this. Okay, now I moved it that he is looking somewhere around here, like killing this dot. Okay, and here is something I do now. I select both of the eyes and I give him this yellow-green color, which my cat's eye has sometimes. Sometimes it looks golden, but mostly it's this weird yellowish thing. And I give it a gradient from this to an orange, more orange thing. That's one. I apply the same gradient here. As you see, here is the gradient, the exact same I used before. That's two. I duplicate this, make it white. Not even, I'm just using an ellipse. And I blend it a bit. When you use the color picker tool and hold it down, it will blend. In my case, this is good because it makes it like it's a transparent thing, but it's actually not, sorry. So it's not transparent, it's just a different color. So what I did now, that the eyes are out of the yellow base, what I do is, this is how I do eyes all the time. With Ctrl D, I duplicate. I told you I love duplication. I duplicate the base of the eye, select this little group I had, right click and set clip. Same here, duplicate this, select the group and set clip. I moved it a bit. So yes. Okay, so group them up and set clip. Okay, now it's working. Gave it a little pink nose, and I'm just gonna do some teeth. I just put them together with Path Union or Ctrl plus, as it says here. I duplicate the mouth, select them, and I use Path Intersection. And it's cutting them into shape. Why I didn't use Path Intersection here with the eyes? Because the middle of the eye is two objects. And if I select these two, I can move them around inside. I can move them around inside the group, inside the clipping mask. And here it's okay if they are not absolutely, you know, if they are not perfect, if they are, because they are not separate objects. I just control click the end, but obviously I will make them sharp. Little kitten has sharp teeth as a freaking shark does. No, really, I am living with a land shark. Okay, nice. And I make this black or very dark red and give it a gradient to some pinkish dark red. Yes, and I draw a little kitty tongue, which will be very pink. I add the two ellipses together and I delete these nodes on the end. And I can play with the shape a bit. Now I can duplicate it. I make it darker, duplicate it, use the light one, and I'm already having Nice. I duplicate the mouth again. And I give him a throat. Maybe this is too dark. Yeah, something like that. Or I don't need the throat, I just need to pull this one higher. Great, so this is where I started from, and this is where I am now. My crazy little cat is starting to work. I duplicate the ears now, and I get the same pinkish color for the inside. And I will give it a linear gradient this time. So it will be, come on, so it will be that it's coming from one color to the other. It can be a bit more orange. Good. Again, I duplicate the gray one, select the orange one, path, intersection, and you see I have a perfect match here on the edge. Good. And what I do, I move it, I play with it. Nice. Now I duplicate it again, make it a bit more pink, and put it behind with page down, so the ear has an edge, and I just match it here. Can make some holes in the ear. I'm very proud that my cat doesn't have any, because he's not a street cat. He was, but he's not anymore. And because I have 1, 2, 3 object under it, I add these together, and 1, 2, control minus from the pink one, control minus from the gray one, and here I am. I have all the things I need, and now this one I will move a bit downer, so it has some thickness. And the same with these little nodes. Okay, we are getting there. I recolor the head to this gray as well. I will play with the colors more. Okay, let's do the same with the other ear. Is making it smaller a bit. I will use the same gradient now, this one, but now it's coming from the top to the bottom, and I will distort it a bit. Good. Duplicate and control star or path intersection. Okay, and here what I do, I will duplicate this again and give this pink edge. Page down to send it behind, and you see it's not perfect, but it's okay. Put it in place. Okay, good. So there is the nice edge, there are some nice colors here and there are some shines on the eye. Okay, I will need some pose and I will need some clothes because I really want to make this dynamic. So what I will do now, this whole thing is one object. These ones I just duplicate again. So if I mess up I can come back. So what I do now, I will these and the arms and these toes I can merge together. Why I do this? Because if I mesh together I can fix this shape, which I don't like, this part of the shoulder. I like it, I can make him more muscular. The cat will be very proud when I show him this. No, he doesn't care, he only cares about food. If you have a cat and you think he is loving you, I have to tell you, he is not. Okay, it's very nice and tight here, I really like that. Ah, the only mistake I made is here. It would be nice to have some shade. I just draw over. I select this, which is now the whole body. I select what I draw over and the path intersection, and then I make it darker. Too dark. You see, so there is a difference between the things in the front and the things in the back. So again, no, too bright. I'm mixing in a bit of gray. Nice. And what I do is I add the gradient from here to here. Perfetto. Good, I'm really happy with this. The hand and the sword here can be also this dark. This will give a bit of a feeling that it has some space. So same here, it will be the same gradient, that is dark, this is light. You see? So that arm is a bit darker. And the handle is dark as well. Now I just give him some, should I give something on the head, like a cape or something, or like, what is it, like a hood? Because, you know, ninjas are covering their faces, but I don't want to create a Sub-Zero here, because I like the eyes and I like the face. What I will do, I will give him some eyebrows. Very Japanese. The closer the eyebrow is to the character's eye, the angrier it can look. And it can follow. Nice. Okay. So the question is, like, do I give him something like a cape or like a hood or not, or something like the Ninja Turtles have, you know, covering the eyes to be more of a ninja from the shadows? That's a good question. I maybe skip it now. I will give some gradient here, just to make this brighter again. So this way the head is a bit out of the picture, and I will use the same gradient here. And this one I will just make bright. Eyebrows or not? Or these eyebrows? That's my question. Okay, I put them aside. What if I give him different eyebrows? very big and cartoony. Eyes and eyebrows and the shape of the mouth. This is what we care for when we draw a character. The nose can really give a subtle feeling, but all the expressions are coming a lot of times from the mouth and the eyebrows and the relation of those. Oh, maybe this is even better. Okay, so he looks crazy enough for me. I will add some turning point here. So what I wanted to do in the original, and this is why I had it in 2 color, is that this is somehow different than here on the bottom. So what I will do is on the line here, with Ctrl 5 on the numeric keyboard I can go into wireframe view, or you can also go view, display mode, and you go outline, not even wireframe. So you go to outline and that's it. So I see what I am doing. So I'm trying to turn his body a bit. Following this curve. Let's see if it works. I go to path and division, and that will cut it into 2 pieces. And this way I can apply the same gradient here as well. As you see, there is a thin line, so I just push this up a bit. This will be not there on my final image. Okay, let's figure more with this gradient. Can be also here, so it's more visible that he's turning. Okay, that was my original idea. Thank you very much. And you see here are a lot of nodes. And I can absolutely delete those. Not the last one though. Okay, nice. It has this nice turning effect and I'm really happy with it. I can duplicate it again, pick the bright color here and just give it here as well to make it even more. So what I have here is a bit transparent thing, you see, but this will give a nice light here. And it's turning more. It looks like 2D. Believe me, when my cat is doing it, he is looking like 2D. And it's a 2D character design, so I don't care. Okay, let's give him a belt. I am thinking something crazy like orange or red, or actually I can pick these colors. Purple? No. Blue? Blue is not hard enough for a ninja. Crazy pink? Looks great with this gray. I might just, yeah, between. I was watching the what other people did on character design challenge, and it's so many good designs, and a lot of them is looking like it could be straight a video game. In my head I already started to do like, okay, what would the character do, how would he jump, what would he achieve, you know, like yeah, so people did a lot of pretty cool stuff. and I'm happy to be part of the group by submitting my art. Just mesh this together, and I duplicated the base. You remember I do the same now as I did with the sword. So I duplicate the base, select what I meshed together, and I go path, intersection, and now I make this lighter. So if there is a shine or something. Good, and I do the same here. Because this is darker, this shine will be also darker, different. Nice. So it has like a belt or something, and I will make this as a crazy big scarf. I know it looks like a tail of Pikachu. Why I do this, that it's interesting and it makes a nice contrast with the, what is it, a nice contrast with the toe I created here and with the paw I created here. Just readjusted the color. Maybe this is even better. This will give it more dynamics. So I had this, but now I make it crazy and more dynamic with this wavy craziness. I'm just control clicking the node. Let's see how wavy it gets. Perfect. Maybe leaving it square is a good option too, but let's see. What do I do? I make it shorter, that way it's gonna be more square but still bending. What I don't like is that this could be, I group them up, this could be here, so more on the bottom of the cat, so it actually be a belt, because what I did is not really a belt. I think it was too high. Okay, nice, and now these move a bit. I duplicate this, move this downer, duplicate this one, and then make a cross with this, and that will be this color, and that will be the shadow of the higher one. Okay. So it has this pink belt, it is crazy, and I will give him also a sword. Whatever it's called. A sheath for the sword, yes. Okay, I will group up the whole head, because I want it to be on the top. And I'm thinking if I should make it bigger. Definitely not smaller, but if I should make it bigger a bit. Like very big, that's a huge cartoony head. and I even distort it a bit. Nice. So now I give him this, which is holding the sword. And this is going under the head, like disappearing under the shoulder. And now I'm creating, using the basic sword shape. Just Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and I make it a bit bigger and a bit less pointy, which is just adding a node and deleting this node here. Nice. I just flip it. And with the end I send it behind, and I'm just figuring how would it be good, because obviously this is now much bigger than the sword. And also I can distort it so it's not from the side, and like this here. Okay, good. And I will add here a little hole where you put the sword in. Okay, now I duplicate this, make it very dark. Yes, nothing darker than black. Duplicate it again, make any color I want. And again, path, difference. So I cut it off. And this way I made it that it has some gradient. Group it up and send it behind. So this is the sword, and this is the sword sheath, and this is the little mistake I made. This is the little thing holding the sword sheath, something like this. Yes. Okay, good. I am happy with everything else. Just a bit of fur here and there I want to add, and I think it's almost finished or finished. I don't want to make this very short, very long for you. I think I'm drawing for an hour at least. Usually it takes like 50 minutes, an hour to sketch up these light characters, and then I am working some more on them usually. So I'm just getting the color from here. That's not good there at all. How about this? I'm just picking the color, the basic color from around. Nice, that's nice. And also then here would be nice. What if I also put some here? Nice. So it is looking more hairy now, which is good. I mean, I never saw a cat which is hairless. You know, there are these Egyptian cats, or what's the name? Pharaoh cats, I think, which are hairless, and I never saw any of those, but I like the fur of my little kitten. but yeah, probably I would love the boldy one as well. Okay, good. And also here on the end of the tail I will give some as well, as he is definitely a warrior and angry as hell. Okay, for fun I will also add some little movements, which is just little lines here and there. You see, it makes it more alive. Nice. This is moving, he is moving. This can be this can be bigger. No. Good, he is looking crazy enough for me. And here I will make a little creature, a little fly, because this is what my cat is eating all the time, so as I told you. And he has absolutely no clue of what is happening, so maybe he has a question mark. Ah, no, doesn't add up. So the fly is really just a circle with two ellipses, and I go to stroke, I give it a stroke, I turn off the fill, and the stroke will be, let's say, this color, or even lighter, something like this color. Nice. And there is something I remember. Yeah. So what I do now, I simplify the path. Like the fly is really getting in. And okay, it's enough. I make it a bit thicker. And I go to path, stroke to path. This way, if you see, it becomes a path. So it's not a stroke anymore, but I can make with this tool grow. Could do the same with the, it's very good for cartoony lines. And I could do the same for the cat's, you know, tail or anything. Nice. So it is a bit too thin here though. So this is my ninja cat, and I hope you enjoyed the drawing. I didn't draw pose. Okay, 2 more minutes and then I'm done. I know we have more than this, but I will give him little pose. So cute. My cat has paws which are not pink or anything. It is gray. The only pink thing on this cat is his butthole. Sorry. Okay, with Ctrl plus I put it together. And I give him something like this, like a dark. Oh, it can be also pink. Going to a dark pink, like. So something like this. Maybe needed, maybe not. Maybe I just take it away now. Or it can be really dark, as it is for my cat in real life. Oh, much better, yeah. Okay, so here is the cat drawing, and I really hope you liked it. I'm finished now. I will also never finish any drawing, so later on if I open it I will add some details and have some fun. I hope you learned a lot, because I was showing how to use gradients, how to create a lot of times, how to create the edges with duplication and why it is useful. And also I was showing you how to create a katana, a ninja sword or a samurai sword, and yeah, how to keep the drawing simple. So if you draw your ninja cat this month, you can also submit it to the character design challenge page. I will put the link into the description. If you want to learn more from me and draw for video game characters or anything from me, then check out my webpage istvansép.com, which has 9 courses, more than 30 hours of content, and it's in very detailed, and I'm helping a lot to my students, and they are creating amazing art with Inkscape. So that was me, and have fun, create your own ninja cat.